Alright, y'all. So before we go any further, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a like and do not forget to add your comments down under the section below and turn on that post notification bell when new videos will drop every Sunday at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, y'all. So today we're gonna check out another video. This is I hope I'm saying his name right. He's one of the members of the Outlaws with Tupac Shakur and the Hussein Fatal. Um, Hussein Fatal. So, with that being said, before I play the video, make sure y'all follow my TikTok page. That link will also be under the description, and I'll be posting more full videos on that other platform as well. But without further ado, let's get into it.
When it comes to Hussein Fatal, Tupac would introduce him as his lieutenant of the Outlaws. Some would say that Tupac and Fatal were too much alike, both stubborn, wild, and always wanting to do things their own way. Tupac had a special love for Fatal because he was like a big brother to Tupac's god brother, Gaddafi. Fatal never really cared about rapping. He was just happy to roll with Tupac and protect him when he needed to be and just hold him down. Now, Bruce Washington, better known as Hussein Fatal, was born April 3rd, 1973 in Montclair, New Jersey. He came from a big family and had a lot of brothers and sisters. Now see, as a teen, he was influenced by early 80s hip-hop music like Kool G Rap, KRS-One, and the Juice Crew, which made him wanting to be a rapper. But growing up in Jersey during that time, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for teens to get jobs, so Fatal turned to the street life and got his hustle on. Now see, he also grew up with fellow Outlaws member Yaki Gaddafi, who Tupac considered his little brother. Now see, Gaddafi and Fatal were best friends. Fatal was a little older than him, but he still took Gaddafi under his wing. They used to run wild in the streets, having shootouts, selling drugs, just hustling to survive, doing what they had to do to get money at the time. Now see, the whole time, right, Fatal didn't even know that Gaddafi and Tupac was brothers until he told him one day, but Fatal just thought it was a joke until he saw the pictures on the wall and pictures of him and Tupac when he was young. Now, Gaddafi was telling Tupac about how Fatal was gangster in them streets and he needed to be down with him. So Gaddafi asked Fatal to come with him to visit Tupac at the Clinton Correctional Prison, where he was serving time for a sexual assault. Once he met Tupac face to face, Tupac asked Fatal to rap for him. He rapped a few verses, and after that, Pac asked him to be down with the group he was putting together. Now, Tupac's original plan was to form two groups with himself, Gaddafi, and Fatal as the Outlaws. And Tupac, Napoleon, Idi Amin, and Castro was going to be in the group Dramacidal. They had other members too, that included Storm, who was the only female in the group at the time. His stepbrother Mopreme and Big Syke from the first group called Thug Life was also added to the group Tupac was putting together. But once Pac got out of prison, after Suge Knight bailed him out, he flew everybody to LA, and they were doing so many tracks together, he just decided just to put everybody in one group. Now, Pac, he wanted to use the name Little Homies for the group, but Fatal said the name made him sound like a bunch of young boys, and he didn't want nobody to referring to him as a little homie. So instead, he suggested the name Outlaws for the whole group because he already had Outlaw tattooed on him anyway. and Tupac agreed with the name. On February 13th, 1996, Tupac released his double album titled All Eyes on Me. Now, Fatal guest appeared on 2 songs, All About You with Gaddafi, Drew Down, Snoop Dogg, and Nate Dogg. And the other song was When We Ride with the Outlaws. He was also featured on Hit 'Em Up, dissing Bad Boy Records and Mobb Deep and Junior Mafia during the time of the East Coast and the West Coast feud. Fatal and the Outlaws was also featured on the track Made Niggas for the gang-related soundtrack in which Tupac had a lead role in the movie. Now, rumor has it that Fatal and the Outlaws helped Tupac beat up one of the producers on the set of the video shoot for Made Niggas, who was being disrespectful to Pac at the time. Another classic song Fatal was featured on was Hail Mary off Tupac's Machiavelli album, in which he barely made it on the album because Tupac did the album in 3 days, and Fatal was back and forth in court so much during that time. Now, during that time, Tupac didn't want the Outlaws to sign to Death Row Records, even though Suge was on him because he wanted to sign Fatal and the Outlaws to Death Row Records. But Pac had his own plan. Pac was getting ready to start his own label called Machiavelli Records, and they was going to be the first act. That's why he didn't want none of them to sign with Death Row, because it wasn't a good look right there. Now, also, Fatal is responsible for bringing Young Noble to Tupac and the Outlaws at the time, because at first, Tupac wasn't feeling Young Noble, but with Fatal co-signing him, Tupac let him in the group. Now see, Fatal and Tupac became close because they was close in age than all the rest of the Outlaws. They fought like brothers, but they had a lot of love for each other and a lot of respect. Now, Tupac used to send Fatal and Gaddafi back home to Jersey a lot of times for their wild behavior in California, but he always brought them back. One incident at the House of Blues concert, Fatal tried to sneak a gun inside the building and got caught. Another time is when Fatal had took Tupac's new Land Cruiser without permission and crashed it right into a pole. Now, according to Frank Alexander, who was Tupac's bodyguard at the time, he stated that after Fatal crashed Tupac's new Jeep, Tupac kicked Fatal out the group for good. But no matter what, man, Fatal always had Tupac's back, and Tupac had his back. Another time, Fatal brought out 100 of his Jersey boys to the MTV Video Music Awards in New York to hold Tupac down when him and Nas had a confrontation. And on September 6th, Fatal had to leave California due to a court appearance on an assault charge, so he couldn't be there in Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight with everybody that night. The next day, Tupac was shot to death in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. Fatal blamed himself for the shooting and felt that if he hadn't left Tupac for his court date and went to Las Vegas instead with them, maybe the outcome would have been different, and if he was there, he would have held him down. Fatal and Gaddafi, man, they just decided to go back to New Jersey after Pac died, while the rest of the members stayed and signed with Death Row Records. Fatal and Gaddafi felt like the members were being disloyal because they signed with Suge Knight when Pac told them, don't sign with Death Row Records. Now, Fatal and Gaddafi back in Jersey, and a month later after Tupac's death, Gaddafi died from being shot in the head by Outlaws member Napoleon's cousin. Before Gaddafi was killed, Fatal had just dropped him off at his girlfriend's house. Within 2 months, Fatal had lost 2 of his best friends and just gave up rapping during that time. Fatal said losing them made him feel suicidal, and he began doing all types of drugs and not taking care of his health. While back home in Jersey, record companies started reaching out to Fatal, trying to offer him a solo deal. And on December 1997, Fatal became a father and decided to return to do music, signing with Relativity Records. Now, he released his solo debut album, In the Line of Fire, in March 1998. I mean, the album, it didn't sell as well as expected because the atmosphere at the time wasn't good. I mean, it was fresh off the Tupac and the Biggie death, and the East and the West Coast rap beef, plus the label was going bankrupt. He left Relativity Records and signed with J. Prince Rap-A-Lot Records and started working on his new album called Death Before Dishonor. On December 21st, 1999, Death Row Records released Still I Rise, a collaboration album by Tupac and the Outlaws that was recorded back around 1995-96. Now see, that album, they took all of Fatal's verses off and put other member verses on the album. That way they can get a bigger share of the profit. That same month, Fatal got arrested due to an assault charge from 3 years before for cutting up some people with a razor or something like that. After he got released from prison, Rap-A-Lot Records re-released Fatal's second solo album, The Death Before Dishonor, but they retitled it as Fatal. He also continued to drop mixtapes and do features for artists. He became good friends with Ja Rule too, and was featured on his album Blood in My Eye, joining the beef between him and 50 Cent. Irv Gotti, he wanted to sign Fatal to Murder Inc., but they never got the deal done. So he ended up starting his own record label called Thug Entertainment and reunited with the group Outlaws for a couple of mixtapes. And on September 13th, 2011, the 15th anniversary of Tupac's death, Fatal, Edie, and Young Noble released the album titled Perfect Timing. After that album, he started writing a book about his life. He titled the book Journey of an Outlaw and was said to be in negotiations for a publishing deal. But on July 11th, 2015, Fatal and his girlfriend was speeding and crashed on Interstate 85 outside of Atlanta around 2:30 a.m. Fatal Hussein was ejected from the vehicle and died as a result from his injuries. His girlfriend, Zanetta Yerby, was charged with DUI and vehicular homicide. She was also charged with reckless driving, failure to maintain lane, and failure to have proof of insurance. After his death, Fatal Hussein's sister, Sarah Washington, said in an interview that some of the outlaw members was holding Fatal's money that's owed to him. She said she asked Young Noble about Fatal's money from royalties, and Young Noble said to her that since Fatal is now dead, he no longer is an outlaw, so he don't get no money. You can check her interview on YouTube and also support Hussein Fatal's music and merch on fatalvelli.com and husseinfatal.net. He was 38 years old. R.I.P. Fatal Hussein.
All right, y'all. If you guys enjoyed that video, once again, leave a like and let me know which other videos y'all want me to react to next. And yeah, y'all, I'm out. Peace.